All right, hello everyone. I'm Dr. Juste Kojo, the Director of the Doctoral Program in Civil Security Leadership, Management and Policy at the New Jersey City University. Welcome to this alumni panel. Hopefully you can all hear me clearly on Zoom. We are here, perfect. We are here in the classroom on the main campus. We have 3 different cohorts who are here, or even 4. First-year students are here, second-year students are here, third-year students are here, and we also have ABDs, Albert dissertation students, who are also preparing to defend the dissertation, or some of them are also here with us today. So this event is this is the first time we actually doing this, and the goal is to bring the good people who have graduated from this program back to talk to us, talk to the students, talk to prospective applicants about their experience both in the program and after the program. We hope that by hearing from them and by learning more about how they did the program and how the program impacted the career, both students who are here today and others who may be interested in joining the program can learn something to their own benefit. So that's the purpose of today's event. Thank you to the Graduate Admission Office, represented here by Sashi. Sashi, hello. Thank you once again for helping setting this up. Now, the 2 panelists that we have today are both here in person, which is great. We have Dr. Lynn Costantini, who you can see on the screen right there. And we also have Dr. Ryan Gibson, who is also here with us in person. Now, the good thing about both panelists is that they are co-teaching courses for us in the program. In fact, every time we have a student graduate from the program, the 2 of them are the last instructors that those students have to deal with. And the good thing is they get out of that class very confident and prepared, especially prepared to defend. So thank you both for joining us today, and thank you both for everything you do for the program. We are happy to have you with us here today, and I won't take too long. First thing I just want to do is ask you just briefly to tell us about yourself, your background, professionally, and how you got here. Dr. Gibson, you want to start?
Thank you, Dr. Kojo. So thank you for everybody on this call, past, present, and potential students. I can't say enough good things about the program here at NJCU. Just a little bit about myself, as a practitioner scholar, I've got over 20 years of government experience, both in the military and with the U.S. government. And with that, it blended very nicely with the program, to be able to bring that experience not only into the classroom, but now as a professor here helping the other students go along with this journey, here at the university. So I'm very happy to be here and share. So please submit your questions and we'll be happy to address them.
Yeah, I will double down on that. I think this program is an exceptional program. It's one of a kind program. And I have been honored to be part of it, both as a student and now as an adjunct professor. So my background is cybersecurity. I've been in the field for almost 3 decades. And my current professional title is Deputy Director for the Center for Partnerships and Innovation at an industry trade group called NARUC. We service memberships, public utility commissions around the country, and we also have partnerships with European energy regulators. The value of this program to me in my professional experience is the DSC after my name, particularly when I am in meetings with European regulators. They recognize the DSC as being an extraordinary accomplishment. And even when I'm talking to my federal partners in the US government, they recognize that seminal degree as setting me and my experience apart from others in the community. And they look to me for leadership. And I feel that the NJCU program has given me that access.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you both. Now, the format as we're doing this, I'll be moderating, obviously, asking a few questions at the beginning. And then you guys in the room, feel free to raise your hand, ask your questions. And people on Zoom, do the same, raise your hand or type in your question in the chat room. And I'll be happy to relay that to the panelists. But just to start off, many people may be considering joining the program, or some here have just started. Can you walk us through or go back in time and walk us through how you processed the possible anxiety that you may have had at the time, thinking, oh my God, this is so intensive. I'm working full-time or part-time. How am I gonna go through this? Because, you know, I've heard students tell me they just join and realize after one semester, this is different than, you know, other degrees that they took. So what was your experience like walking into the program?
So I'll start off. Dr. Constantini did a much better job laying the foundation of what her background is. So I'll take this opportunity to help everyone understand, you know, entering a program like this, it's accelerated. And so my day job, I do drone forensics. I manage a drone forensic program with the FAA, the Federal Aviation Administration. And that's a full-time job. And so with that, like most people on this call and those considering the program, they have full-time positions, whether it's full-time jobs in government, private sector, volunteering, you know, you have your family, you have friends to consider. You can only give 100%. That's all you can give. And you have to realize that something is going to give within your life. And you have to prioritize the education. You might have to prioritize your work balance, your family balance. And so I think understanding that there is going to be sacrifice, it's absolutely important because it is a 3-year program and it can be done. You know, Dr. C, myself, we were testaments of that timeline. We graduated on time. And so understanding that, number one, there's going to be sacrifice. Number two, there's an immense amount of time commitment that you're going to have to figure out, whether it's waking up earlier, going to bed later, every free moment of time, reading literature and pouring through documents and being very organized. These are all considerations for the program. But to my point, the benefits and the self-gratification and understanding that you met your goal, it far outweighs, and you'll soon forget all the sacrifices that you made once you graduate. So,
and had a similar answer. It is sacrifice. But as I was considering whether or not to enter the program, I had lots of serious conversations with my husband, with my children, with my mom and dad, letting them know the kind of commitment that I expected to have to make to this program. And I had their support 100%. So if I couldn't make a family function, they understood why. And it was only through their support that I made the decision to enter this program. But also because of their support, I was successful in this program. So they were kind of my opening concerns. You know, would I be able to do it? And as you said, Dr. Kojo, once you're in it, you realize that what you expected is a little bit different. The cohort model that NJCU uses is also part of that support structure that I was talking about. So not only did I have my family support to enter this program, I had my colleagues and peers, as well as the teaching staff of NJCU for that support. And I don't think I could have done the program in 3 years without having this cohort model. This cohort model is also unique to NJCU in this doctoral program, but it was absolutely a success factor for me.
Okay. Thank you. So I would like to open the room if you guys have questions in the room or on Zoom at this point, because we have about 45 minutes left. So we still have time to ask questions and get answers from our panelists. And if you have questions, for those of you who are here, just introduce yourself briefly, which cohort you are, if the first, second year, or third, or preparing to defend, just let us know. And it could be a comment, it could be a question for the panelists, that's totally fine. Same for the folks on Zoom, okay? Now, with that, anybody ready yet? Yes, I'm assuming everyone has one question at least. Yes, Eliza, please go ahead. So you will need to unmute yourself and then use your Zoom so that people on Zoom can hear you clearly.
Gotcha. Good. No feedback. Okay. So I just wanted, well, my name is Eliza. I am in, what are we on? 10, 9, 11? I got deployed 2020 to 2021. So I got pushed back one. So I'm a little bit behind. But my question is, so when I first entered this program, I did see the difference between the designation, the DSC versus the PhD. I know people who have done an EDD. And then, when you do the research on it, it does talk about really that being that distinction for Europe. What have you, and you mentioned that, so what have you found has been beneficial in that? And do people ever question or challenge you on that? Like, well, what is a DSC? Sometimes you look online, there's on like Reddit, there's arguments about, oh, well, this is the highest because of, whatever the arguments are. How do you find that's helped? And does anyone ever question you on what it actually is?
I have never gotten a question. What does DSC stand for? Okay. They know it's a doctorate. And it doesn't matter whether it's a PhD or a DSC. It recognizes the highest achievement as an academic. And that is recognized regardless of what discipline it's in.
I get a similar type of experience. I have to educate basically everybody I meet. They don't understand what the DSC is. So educating people what that is, explaining to them that it's a practitioner, research, scholar blend, I think is very important. And that really, when it boils down to patting yourself on the back, it is a doctorate. It's recognized and should be proud of the accomplishment. So I think it's number one, it's people recognizing that you have the doctorate is excellent. Explaining, walking them through, maybe showing them that there's a program in the United States like this. It helps. So.
We do have one question on Zoom. Rosemary raised her hand. Ma'am, if you can unmute yourself, we'll be happy to hear your question.
Hi everyone, I'm from Nigeria. Can anyone hear me?
Yeah, hello. We can hear you. You're breaking up a little. If you can try it one more time, hopefully it will work better this time.
Okay, I said hi everyone. I'm Rosemary from Nigeria. So my question was getting admission to the New Jersey University, does it require me contacting the potential before I can get admission?
Rosemary, we're still having trouble hearing you clearly. We understand you are calling from Nigeria, if I heard correctly. And your question was if you get to New Jersey, then I couldn't hear the second part of the question. Could you try it one more time? Sorry about that, but it's breaking up. Yeah. Or in the chat room, you can, yeah, great. Yeah, please type in the chat room. We'll try to relay that to the, yep. Sashi, do we still have an echo? Or are we good? Perfect. All right, so we wait for Rosemary's question in the chat room. What about the other people in the audience? Any question, any thought, any ideas? No, yeah. So yeah, go ahead, please.
You know, while we're waiting for Rosemary to type up her chat, you know, one item to think about, and it shouldn't sway you to join the program or not, but once you do walk across the stage and you have the 3 letters, it's definitely more than just letters. You know, in some industries, they're going to recognize immediately the significance of your degree. And now that your words carry a lot more weight, you're going to have a microscope on what you write. You're going to have a microscope on what you say. And it definitely carries a lot more weight when you speak. The beautiful thing about becoming a doctor in general, I would say, I'm going to generalize, is that you get rewired, right? Your brain is rewired to think differently, to analyze items differently, to synthesize information and produce products that are fact-based, that have been researched thoroughly. And the item that really helps in the workplace is that now you can go into discussions informed. Even the people around you in these meetings will start to, I would say, mimic or mirror some of your actions and some of your speaking language. They start to second guess and start to reconsider how they communicate messages, because what they don't want to do is go into a meeting and try to have a debate with a doctor. Let's just put it out there, and kind of not have a strong foundation to have that discussion. So, like I said, once you receive the degree, the hard work's already been behind you. Everything moving forward, you now are looking through a different lens, and that rewiring, I believe, Dr. C might echo this, your work products become much more succinct, thorough, and again, carry a lot more weight within the industry. And you're gonna recognize that immediately.
I do concur. I think, you know, reflecting on the benefits of this program, it did rewire how I thought about problems. You know, I always thought I was a critical thinker, and I had been a practitioner for a very long time. But the need to back up your opinions and how to do that in a rigorous way is something that I learned through this program. And that does have value in my professional life. So I'll give you an example of an experience that I just had, and I related it in September during our cohort meeting. Again, I work in cybersecurity, and one of my key activities is to build partnerships with state and federal partners. And I had a meeting with the director of the TSA to talk about cybersecurity requirements for the natural gas sector. And we were talking about the challenges of building trust between the federal government, the state government, and industry operators. And during the course of the conversation, he looked at me and referenced content from my dissertation. First of all, I almost fell off the chair, but that is an example of the value that you're bringing into a conversation. People are paying attention to what you say because they do recognize the advantage of that degree. They look at you through a different lens. So not only do we look at ourselves through a different lens, a more academic lens, a more critical, rigorous lens, the people that we engage with professionally also look at you through that lens.
I would say, I wanted to add, I would expect more work. And let me just add a little bit of detail to that. And I would say it's more of a compliment than anything to your accomplishment. I would say more individuals are going to start sending you work to proofread, work materials. They're going to have more documents to send your way for comments and considerations, because now they know that you can analyze documents quickly. You can add your interpretation. You can add that external consideration that they're not thinking about. And you're going to understand that a lot of the information that you might be reading is not being understood by the entire audience sending you the information. By the time you're done communicating what that work product means, you've just helped either your manager, your office, your division. Expect more work. And I would consider, like I said, a compliment, because now they trust you, they trust your opinion, they trust your skills, and just set the expectation for yourself.
All right. So let me just build on that, because one of my questions that I was planning to ask is, we are a civil security, and security is a broad field. Students, coming into, we have folks here interested in cyber, and we don't have a course on cyber. You yourself, Dr. Costantini, your field is cybersecurity, and we don't teach a cybersecurity focused course in the program. And it may be the same for other subfields as well. So how did you reconcile that? The fact that you had interest in a field that we don't specifically target in our teaching, in our classes, how and still you were able to succeed and then continue to succeed in your field. How did that work for you, Dr. Costantini? And then Dr. Gibson, the same question, if possible.
What's important to you. And this program absolutely did that. The communications course, very helpful across any discipline, not just a security discipline or a cybersecurity discipline. Policy and budget, all of those classes give you a great foundation. Again, building those critical thinking skills and the ability to take what you learn and apply it in a different environment. That's absolutely a critical skill in any environment, but having these skills particularly, this program helped me build that and helped me understand that that was possible.
I think the angle that I look at, everybody has their own interests entering the program, their own specialty, right? Whether it's cybersecurity, drones for myself, emergency management, law enforcement, firefighting, you name it. Everybody has their own interest. And the beautiful part about this program is that the instructors are practitioner scholars, right? So they might not have a specialty in cybersecurity, but they work with professionals that do. So they know about the field. They know how to expand on the research content, the literature. They know how to point you in the right directions to get you closer to that end goal of focusing on your research topic. So it's not a lost cause. Some universities specialize in one specific area. The beautiful thing about this program is you have enough practitioner scholars that have numerous years of experience and connections within the industry that we're able to pull that experience into the classroom and help you expand on a topic to get you to where you need to be. And I think that's very important and very unique.
Great. Thank you both. Now, as you know, our audience is diverse in terms of where they are in the program or their interest in the program. We do have prospective applicants who are attending this event as well via Zoom. And Rosemary was calling from Nigeria, had questions, but mostly about admission. And good thing we have Sashi here from the Graduate Admission Office, and she's been great at answering those questions, so I won't bother you with that. Sashi will take care of it. We do have another question from I'm assuming a prospective applicant, Al Edwards. What are the major differences between our program and the policy career? He is in the field of economics, I believe. So just before you jump in, the courses that we offer emphasize policy leadership management. We use a course on emergency management to emphasize the leadership and management aspects. We also have a course on policy and budget that also help with the policy aspects. So that's what we do, but then you apply that to your own field. If your field, let's say, is more into economics, human security aspect, that could be something you could apply to that area as well, as both panelists have done with their own areas as well. I don't know if there's anything you wanted to add to that from your experience or other alumni's experience, your former cohorts, members and all that.
Look at the content, the course content in this program. And even though it's called security, it's a social science. And the skills that we're learning in this program, because it's rooted in social science, is extensible to other social sciences like economics. So I think there is a lot of consistency in what we learn here and the ability to apply it very, very broadly.
I think to help answer the question, this is, again, the practitioner scholar aspect when I was looking at universities was huge. It was a huge factor for me. And it's not a negative for universities that typically have the theory only professors. Every aspect of a program needs that also. But again, when you have the practitioner scholar based professors, they can add credence to what they're teaching, within the program, within a class. For example, if you're developing policy and procedure within your organization, the textbook will only get you so far. When you start to have those deep conversations with your professor on some of the hurdles you face, within the work environment on developing policy and procedure, that right there is worth, I believe, more than what some universities might offer. So when you're considering different programs, I would factor in the practitioner-based versus the scholar-based and the hybrid approach. What exactly are you getting in the classroom? Is it all theory? Is it a blend of theory and practice? And how does that weigh into your life, into your goals? If you're doing this for a personal reason and it has no bearing on your work environment, your personal career, as far as promoting yourself, within a business, then maybe you want theory. Maybe that is your interest. But for those that are in the classroom right now, I'm willing to bet that most are currently working. They're in the field and they want those tangible items that they can put their finger on. They want their finger on the pulse, ultimately, when developing policy, when addressing security concerns. So think about that. Think about your professors, think about the curriculum, and do you want your finger on the pulse or do you want theory?
Thank you both. Any question from the room or from Zoom? No. Is somebody raised their hand? Let me just make sure I'm not missing anyone. So one of the challenges, obviously, in the program is writing. And I look at the first year cohort when I say this, because just today they were assigned a statement of research interest that would, summarize what they're interested in. And multiple pages, and this is the second semester in the program. So, and many of them find the writing requirements a little daunting. How did you deal with it when you were in the program? And has that served you at all in your professional life as well? This intense writing requirement that we have.
Funny you should ask that, because I do a lot of writing in my professional life. I couldn't write for a while after coming through this program. It's like, I can't write another sentence. I just can't do it. But I learned a lot about me during this doctoral program. And I learned that I was a good writer. And I learned to hone my writing even more. Again, making sure every opinion that I had was rooted in a defensible position. I learned to scale down my writing, make it succinct, make the problem clear. So yes, it has this activity of writing, even though it is daunting. It is a skill that you need in real world. If you want to advance in your career into a leadership position, you must be able to communicate well, both verbally and in writing. And both of those skills are honed in this program.
I think I touched on the rewiring. That's my go-to motto, right? You're going to be rewired. And so I love analogies. I'm going to put an analogy out that I hope relates to everyone. For those that have flown overseas, a direct flight, you're looking at maybe an 18-hour flight. They're not fun. I'll just put it that way. But once you do one and you do a 3-hour flight, they go very quickly. They're a piece of cake, right? So this program is building on that undergrad degree, that master's degree. You've now started to be force-fed, pushed into a direction to accomplish a goal within 3 years. You're going to have to take advantage of that rewiring, right? To read material, digest it, and synthesize ideas into something that you can own, something that you can attest to. So now that 20-hour flight becomes a 3-hour flight over and over. You're now easily able to read material and write, and it becomes second nature. And now that bleeds into your work environment. Like I said, you're going to get more work. You're going to get documents to review and to comment on right on top of your normal day job. And so instead of saying, no, I can't, or no, I don't have time, it's shuffled, into the priority list, and you're able to accomplish it. Right. So these are all skills that you're just going to become second nature for you. There's no easy way to do it, really. Like I said, you're going to have to prioritize your time, your work-life balance, your family. So it's a program that is going to test you over and over, and your writing skills will improve. And to my point, some might think their writing skills are perfect. There's no shame in getting an editor, a proofreader, hiring individuals to help you write, as long as it's your own content. Those are all tools that you can take advantage of. So it might be daunting on the surface, but there are opportunities and there's services out there to help you get it along the process.
One of the always get from prospective students is, how did you do this in 3 years? That in and of itself is daunting. And I learned this very early on, is to write often. Even if you don't have an assignment, you should be reading and documenting what you've read. Get in the habit of reading and writing regularly. Every day, devote some time to reading or writing about what you've read. that will get you into the habit. And it's that habit that will prove to really be helpful getting you through this program in 3 years. So don't just write when you have to, write because you need to get into that habit.
I would have loved, ask you to repeat that, 5 times maybe. That last sentence that you just said, right? Not when you need to write, but just to get into the writing mode. And that's critical. That's super critical. All right. So one theme that we wanted to emphasize in this event was also show the diversity of professional fields that we all come from. So before I ask you to talk to us a little bit about your own field, I would like to give all the students in here a chance to introduce themselves and tell us what field you're in and what your interest or what area you are interested in for your own research. For prospective applicants who may be considering the program and not sure whether they would fit in, maybe hearing from you guys can also help. Stephanie, will start with you. I will mute myself so that there's no echo when you speak. Hold on 1 second.
Good afternoon. I'm Stephanie. I currently work at DHS, Department of Homeland Security. And my area of interest is looking at how the impacts of climate disasters affects emergency management response from the aspect of emergency responders responding. So we rely on emergency responders to help, but if they're also affected, how does that, affect the response that they're supposed to be given? So that's the general idea.
And you are in first year.
And I'm a first year.
Hello, my name is Anna. It's from Yento. I'm currently on my 3rd year. And my writing is about examining digital media literacy skills to combat disinformation on social media. And I'm currently working with Dr. Constantine and Dr. Gibson as well in my current class to get some advice on how I can improve and move further to pass my defense, hopefully soon.
My name is Rajiv. My name is Razi Luguleko. I work for a managed security company that we actually do security services for corporations and globally. I'm a cybersecurity architect, but my background was actually in mass communication and in journalism, and I just happened into computer science, and I've been pretty much versatile in network engineering, but security is what I'm actually doing right now. Network assessment. We do forensics for corporations in terms of those who are hacked. And when you talk about in terms of phishing and all that, now we're working, looking into specialists in zero trust architecture. And we're looking into actually procuring and inventing some new ways of actually ensuring your network is not accessed unauthorized. Like I said, my background is in journalism initially, and I did work in newspaper. And I actually work as a correspondent from the United Nations for IPS. And but when you mention rewiring your head in terms of how you write and how you present papers, it's like, whoa, this is a very scholarly environment. So my writing style has to change, and I did realize that. And I'm reading a lot more to actually emphasize and get more into actually presenting scholarly papers. That has been a daunting task. Just because I'm a writer or I felt I've been through that training, I should be able to, it should come easily. It doesn't. And it's actually reading more, researching more. It's not me, it's just like, so, but you understand where I'm coming from. But I did pick from what you said, rewiring my mind, my brain in presenting and analyzing ideas and presenting papers out there. I do appreciate this program, and I do hope I can move forward as a practitioner scholar as well. And I'm with LC10, so hopefully I can really make the time appropriately. Second year. Second year.
My name is Babatunde Agbola. Usually people call me Tunde because it's easy. This is my second year. My background actually is also in communication arts, but I'm a network engineering lead within New York City Children's Services Agency. I run the computer network and the security network. My area of interest is on critical infrastructure protection. I found this program to be extremely challenging, but the support is there, and I hope I can learn a little more and become a doctor one day here. Thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Molly. I'm in my first year.
Okay, let's try this again. Okay, I'm Molly. I'm in my first year. I work for Gucci Corporate as a security operations specialist. I monitor the stores remotely, all our store locations in North America, South America, Canada, and the Caribbean. My area of interest is in active school shooters and law enforcement preparedness and response. Gearing more towards understanding the leakage perspective. Why is it not leakage is apparent, but why aren't we taking it more seriously to mitigate against these very disastrous events that are occurring way more often? And did I cover everything? Yes. I'm Veronica. My background's emergency management. I'm a first year. I'm currently a librarian. My research interest is human trafficking and the connector to natural disasters and why it happens. I don't know what else. I'm very forgetful. I think that was all. Yeah, we're good. Yeah, I said that. We're good. Okay.
Okay, now we can mute.
All right, I'm up. Hi there again, everybody. My name is Eliza. I work for the MTA, the Metropolitan Transportation Authority, the largest transportation authority in all of North America. I'm the director of policy for our tower, our security tower, which is MTA security, all of our 5 agencies and our police department. My area of interest is in Black women in leadership, particularly in the security sector. So what I intend to write on is just barriers that women, particularly of color, encounter, and what the barriers, how it's impacted their rise to leadership. I'm maybe like number 3 on the 3 level in the organization, and I've continuously saw the glass ceiling, the concrete ceiling, all the ceilings. So that's what I'm interested in studying, and I am on year 2 LC10. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. Edwin Torres. I'm LC10, which is second year with the program. I am a security specialist, transferred from DoD to GSA, and my interest is decision-making and AI, the integration of artificial intelligence and decision-making, particularly on the executive level. On how AI can impact decision making. I covered everything.
Good afternoon. My name is Kendra Stevens. I am a correction officer with the state of New Jersey for about going into my 16th year. My research is focused on emergency preparedness training for correction officers in the event of a crisis and the impact it has on their confidence in order to respond. And that's about it.
Short and sweet. So, hi, I'm Gary Foolish. I'm former law enforcement and in academia now. And my research and writing is deals with social media usage by local police departments in the state of New Jersey. And as we all, most of society, not all of society, it's all about semantics and using the correct verbiage and words. A lot of organizations and agencies, especially in the private sector, do a great job, and teenagers do a great job with social media, but local police departments unfortunately do not. So that's what I've been focusing on for some time, and I can't say enough about the program and the scholar and practitioner approach, because it just works. It just works well for myself.
Hello, everyone. My name is Brian Stanislaus. I first want to thank you at the panel for giving back to us and coming back to talk to us about your experience you've had in getting through the program. I've been in information technology for over 15 years now. I currently work for New York Power Authority in White Plains, New York. I manage the company's business continuity environment, which includes business resiliency, cybersecurity, risk management, and recovery of critical functions within the company. My dissertation interest heading towards, you've mentioned artificial intelligence. It's the other part of artificial intelligence where the machine language aspect of it, which is not binary, but more on a qualitative standpoint, affects unintentional effects and consequences from the learning of those particular systems and or humanoid robots and the liabilities against that. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. Good afternoon and good evening, good morning, wherever you joined. This is Chandra here. I am a cloud specialist for one of the private organization. Focus is basically to strategize the cloud services for the business. I'm actually part of the first year student, LC 10. This is the second semester, and I'm already feeling the heat. So my dissertation interest is mainly on the cybersecurity training, how effective training on the effective training. The focus area is basically phishing, detecting phishing for bringing changes on the training policies or corporate policies.
Good afternoon or evening or good morning to everybody online. And for those of you that are thinking about joining the program, I wish you well in that pursuit. I think you'll find it's well worth your time. My name's Tom Watson. I'm a ABD. I'm getting ready to defend my dissertation next month. My background is I'm retired military and also a former member of the Department of Homeland Security, focused on all aspects of critical infrastructure protection, physical personnel, and cybersecurity. My dissertation topic for presentation is on the impact of purchasing behavior of cybersecurity and how it impacts operational cyber risk mitigation activities of large banks in the state of New Jersey. And again, congratulations to all those who are getting ready to think about applying, and wish you well in the process. It's challenging, but well worth the effort.
All right, thank you all. We have about 3-4 minutes left. With that, I'll let the two panelists just if there's anything after hearing from our students, and there's maybe Ike, I believe, on Zoom, or somebody else on Zoom. But
yes, I'm here.
Okay, you wanna before we all right. So jump in really quick.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ike Jikeme. I'm also in LC10. Usually I'm in person, but just because of some work demands and the change of schedule, I wasn't able to make it. Can you guys hear me? Well, okay. Just wasn't able to make it this particular weekend. I live in Washington, D.C., and I also work for the Department of Homeland Security. I work in Immigration, Security, and Fraud, as well as Status and Documents Division. I've been doing that for quite a while. Dr. Kojo is actually my mentor / advisor. My research focuses on U.S. security cooperation in Africa. So like that's pretty much like kind of like defense policy and strategy. And I found the program to be very rewarding, very flexible. Like I said, I am typically in person, but just because of some change of schedule, I wasn't able to make it this particular weekend. And it really worked for my schedule. And I'm sure that many others can attest to that same thing, whether you have work constraints or whatever the case may be. Professors have been very flexible. And that's really worked out for me as a scholar practitioner. And I really do believe that this program is going to be one that is going to help me post-grad. And I'm really excited. I will be defending as well, hopefully next year, just as Joe did. And if you do join the program, I think that it's going to be worth your while. And it's been worth my while. So thank you, Dr. Kojo.
All right, thank you, Ike. With that, I will let the two panelists, Dr. Gibson and Dr. Costantini, just reflect on whatever you've heard so far and whatever last advice you may want to give them. And yeah, that's it.
There's a lot of diversity in this room. I'm currently writing on the topic of climate resilience and emergency management. So you and I have to talk. Okay. I'm also doing research on women in cybersecurity. So you and I need to talk. I'm so pleased to see so many of you here in person for this weekend, and enthusiasm in this room is thrilling to me because I do believe in this program. And I want everybody to be successful in this program. But to do that, you will have to go through the two of us. And I can't wait to see you, each and every one of you, in that 960 class.
You know, in closing, there's a lot of doctoral programs out there. You know, I've done my research to try to find the right one. And for what it's worth, you know, if you're considering this program, I wholeheartedly believe that every professor, every person that's a support specialist, everyone involved in this program wants everyone to cross that finish line. And we try our best to help you, to drag you, to push you, encourage you. It is a struggle. You know, I don't want anyone to think or second guess it is. It's a sacrifice and a struggle, but there's such a sense of accomplishment when you're done that, you know, the words won't even describe, you know, what you've been through and what's to come. So, you know, postgraduate, not necessarily postgraduate degrees, but just after you finish, you know, some of the questions that come up are, what are some of the opportunities that might open? We don't know. We don't know. All I can tell you is that doors will open with this degree. I don't have a crystal ball. And if I did, it would be murky. So doors will open. You might not be able to tell your significant other or someone who's questioning, what are you going to do with your degree afterwards? But I can tell you firsthand that doors start to open that you didn't even realize existed. And it's amazing. So for those considering the program, please ask questions. For those in the program, continue to push forward. Leverage your mentor, your committee, the staff, former and current students, those in a PhD program or, you know, similar. Don't work in a silo. So that's the best information I can give right now.
Good luck.
Excellent. Thank you all. Thank you, everyone. This is the first experience we just had with this format, and I guess it worked out well. So thanks to our, you know, both the panelists that we had. Thank you, Sashi, once again. And if you're on Zoom and considering the program, please check out our website, We have our contact information on the website. Just get in touch and we'll start a conversation and we'll make sure you have all the answers you need, all the time you need to complete the application. And then, yeah, we're here to support applicants throughout the process. And once you join the program, as you've heard, we're here to support you as well. So thank you, everyone. And I look forward to seeing you in the future and having a wonderful weekend. Thank you.